Hey everyone, it's Mari. I have another Christmas card making process here for you today. I'm going to be using this really adorable little Darcie's Heart and Home stamp set called My Dear. And I'm just going to stamp out this really adorable little reindeer image using some My Favorite Things black hybrid ink using my Misty. Just going to stamp this out so that it's a nice solid image here. And then I'm going to do some Copic coloring in a minute. I'm just going to stamp that over one more time here and get that just a really nice and solid image. I have to apologize for my voice today. It's just a little bit croaky. So here's my little image. Just going to zoom in here for you, and I'm going to be using E53, E55, E57, and E59 for this little reindeer. Now, I am going to show you the coloring here, most of the coloring, at least for the fur. And then I'm just going to finish the coloring off camera and fussy cut this little guy out. Now, these stamps do not have dies. And so if you want to do more than one layer on your card, and you want to do some, you'd like to cut these little images out, you're going to have to fussy cut those because they don't have the dies. So I just do some really quick Copic coloring here, going from light to dark with my colors. And then I am going to, like I said, just take my scissors and fussy cut this little adorable little reindeer out. I do end up coloring his little scarf, the candy cane, and his antlers, I believe, off camera, but there's nothing too tricky about that. I just use some blue, green, and some red to color in those little areas there. So you can see that I'm just trying to do a little tiny bit of shading where there's areas that meet on the little deer. So where his little arms meet his body, just doing a little shading there and so on, just to create a little bit of shadow to create a little bit more dimension with this little deer. These Darcie stamps are so adorable. I actually ended up getting a few from the Not Too Shabby shop. And that shop, if you have never shopped there, it's actually really great little online store, and the products are shipped very, very quickly. And I was just really impressed with that. And she had quite a few of these stamps in stock, and they're just a little bit hard to find actually. So I was really happy that I was able to find this little set called My Dear. And the other set that I'm going to be using from Darcie's is called Cookies and Cocoa, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So I'm just trying to create a little bit of a highlight on the top of that little reindeer's head, just so that it looks like perhaps the light source is coming from the top, and then creating the shadows on the lower portion of his little head. And so I'm just going to finish that up. I'll do a little bit of pink inside the ear, and then that darker brown for the antlers. And here very quickly, due to, of course, technology, I will show you the finished little reindeer here very quickly. So there you can see he's all finished up. I actually used a little bit of W3 to do a little bit of dots where the shading is, just to give a little bit of a different tone in that darker gray. Now I'm taking this little Christmas tree stamp from the Cookies and Cocoa stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that out. And then I'm just also going to do a little bit of Copic coloring of that as well. And I believe I am going to put the Copic colors on the screen here that I am using for this little Christmas tree. I love how a lot of these little images that are in these sets have little faces on them, including this little Christmas tree, which I think is just so adorable. And I am going to just use a couple of shades of green and then a little bit of red and yellow on this little Christmas tree. And then I'm going to go in with some stickles to decorate the tree as well, just to give it a little bit of dimension and sparkle and shine. So just got that really nice light green there around the outer edge. Then I decide that I'm going to use that same green on the inside. So I'll go in with a G09 after and go around the outline of that Christmas tree, just so that it's darker and kind of like an accent color for that lighter color of green. So I'm just going around here just with a really light amount of color. I'm not really going to do any shading or anything like that on the Christmas tree. And you can see there's a little bit of garland on there and some little twinkle lights, I suppose, or some little decorations. And that is where I'm going to put the stickles. So that little G09 is going to go around the outer edge. And just see me finishing that up there. And then I will go in, I believe, with the stickles once I'm done the red and the yellow. So this, I don't know how well you can see this on the screen, but it does add just a really nice bit of detail on this little card. So I'm just going to slow this down a little bit and just show you how that looks. And I really like that detail a lot. Now I'm just going to take my glitter jelly roll pen from Sakura and add a little bit of shine to that little scarf. I'm going to take a little bit of glossy accents and add that to the little eyes. Now you can see that my card base here is a little bit of a different shape. It's 6 1/4 by 4, and I've just used this MFT scallop die called basic scallop, or scallop basic edges, I guess, to cut a little bit of a scallop edge on the end of that card front. Now I'm just going to take some pattern paper from Cartabella Snow Day Fun, and I'm going to just use that as a base on top of the card front. And now I've got a panel that I cut from textured cardstock using my favorite things, stitched rectangular stacks. And I've also cut out some stylish snowflakes from the MFT Stylish Snowflakes dies. And now I'm just going to create some details on my card front. So I'm going to stick everything down. And then I'm going to take a Lawn Fawn die called Scripty Mary. I'm going to cut that Mary word out of some red glitter cardstock. I've also cut that same word Mary out of some white craft foam. And I'm going to stick that word to the other word, the glitter cardstock to the foam. And that'll be nice and dimensional for my card front here. So I'm going to stick that down to my card front, and that'll just add another little bit more detail. I'm going to add a couple of little sequins in gold and red to the front of my card. And I'm going to add a sentiment from the My Dear stamp set to the inside of my card. I'm going to just adhere that to a little square scallop piece of paper that I cut with my square scallop punch from Stampin' Up. And I just added that a little bit of foam dimensional adhesive to the back of that to pop it up, and that is going to be my finished card. I actually created a little envelope as well to match, and you'll just see me doing a little bit of embellishing to that envelope, and my card project is going to be all finished here today. So thanks so much for stopping by and sticking with me through my croaky voice today, and I hope you have some fun making some crafty Christmas projects in your craft space today or soon. See ya, and thanks so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.